Oh, am I? And our subscriptions that we're going to be offering shortly will be taken up.
Enthusiastically,
Yeah.
no doubt.
Kate Fenton's moved to Texas.
She has, yeah. Well, she's working for Dan.
Dan?
Mate of mine, Dan, taxation is theft. He legally changed his name. Yeah, I introduced him when she was over there. They hung out. Well, now she and he are working together.
What's she doing for Dan?
Media and marketing and all
Good
the
on her.
rest.
I've just caught up with her current WA legal battles today.
Yeah, right.
So they're still waiting on the position or the assessment from their King's Council that they've engaged to review whether there's any basis to challenge the law.
Yeah, right. No, I haven't spoken to her for a little bit, but yeah.
She's had a couple of wins.
Oh, mate, she's a good egg and she's a fucking warrior. And
she's copped a lot of negative criticism from a few people who want to, I don't know, they want to be nice to people who are trying to take their rights away.
It's funny that, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know whether that works.
Rightio, I think. That should be us. I think we're good to go.
Nice one.
No, I reckon. But no, she's gone over there to work with Dan Taxation as Theft, the big fella. Which is, that's pretty cool. He needed somebody like-minded to sort of do a bit of business with, and they seem to be doing very well.
She'll feel welcome in Texas.
Oh, shit, yeah, she's right at home in Texas.
All right, well, we've probably taken everyone a bit by surprise because we started rambling on about a conversation that we sort of started prior to going live. My name's Anthony Irvine. I'm a councillor on Temora Shire Council, but the views I express here are mine and mine alone and not those of Temora Shire Council.
And I'm Dean McRae, and I'm here participating in what is obviously the finest media outlet in all of Temora Shire. Certainly the most open, transparent, honest.
And I would hazard a guess at the most subscribed.
You have to be close.
We can't get accurate figures on the distribution or the circulation of the Temora Independent, but the only unsubstantiated figure that we could find by another media outlet that does placements or contracting for people who want to do placements was a circulation of 1,400 per week.
And I think 1,400 is not bad for a little 2-bit show like the Temora.
Look, people like it in the scan. Like
they'll hit Job Herald.
People used to buy, what was it, the Sun?
The Sun, yes.
The Sun, I think it's gone by the wayside, hasn't it?
Oh, it's still big in the UK, I think.
Isn't it?
I know. Also, there's one in the UK, and they got a page 3 girl. There's a topless girl on page 3.
That's what I mean. So that probably sells.
Yeah, of course.
Even this day and age.
Yeah, that still sells.
That's on the Temora Independent, though.
No, but if it did, it'd probably have a bit more credibility. At least you'd sort of see some value in it, perhaps.
Well, it'd lift its.
It'd lift the vibe and the quality and the intellectual integrity, the integrity of the.
And it'd lift it just out of the sewer to the gutter. Wouldn't it?
Oh, for sure.
And it elevated.
And boobies are good. We all like boobs. Boobs are great.
Yeah. So
that's a fine journalistic.
Yeah. Well, there's a
output of
propaganda.
There's a tip.
Get some hoodoos.
How's your week been, mate? What's been going on?
No, it's been good. I went to a council meeting tonight. I'm fresh out of the
clink. You poor bugger. Do we need therapy? Is this like a
it was good
decompression session, or what's the story?
Well, you will recall where I was actually bullied by the mayor in a council meeting, and he spoke over the top of me and shut me down when we were discussing.
I believe he declared you had to be very careful.
Yeah, and we were discussing codes of. Yeah, he did. He made threats.
Yeah,
very threatening. You be very careful.
I took that and I played it, and I shared it quite a lot because I do like bullies to get belted a little bit. It is a hobby of mine.
He just basically overrode the whole democratic process. Didn't allow an elected representative to speak, which is in total conflict with the code of meeting practice.
Yep.
Anyway, tonight we're discussing a development application, and I'd probably spoken for about 30 seconds and introduced my major points in regards to what I wanted to put across, and the mayor interrupted me as the chair of the meeting, and he deferred to one of the council officers for clarification as to a couple of points that I'd raised, and that reinforced that what I'd said initially was accurate. And then the mayor swung back to me and said, "Oh, yeah, just wrap it up, Councillor Irvine." I said, "No, I've got 5 minutes."
There's a protocol here.
Yeah.
And the protocol isn't you just do whatever you fucking
I
want.
didn't have to say anything else. He knew, because that's what it says in the code of meeting practice. I've got 5 minutes.
I've got 5
I'd
minutes.
use 1 minute. That means I've still got 4.
Did he have to have one of the little abacuses there to try and make sure
he
that
just hit the stopwatch. He knew.
And
everyone else in the room knew.
Oh, yes. Isn't it funny when you know the rules and your rights and you know where the game
And
is
you
played?
shouldn't have to worry about it.
No.
It's only to stop people being bullies and shutting down the democratic process.
Look, the democratic process is a debacle at the best of times, but we certainly don't need little dictators rolling around waving their fingers and making threats of being careful, being very
But even
careful.
shutting down, like, it was obviously that discussion made him uncomfortable and he shut it down. Now, it helped him on the night, but it won't help him going forward, because typically, if you bully someone, more often than not, they will work out, they'll hit the big bag, they'll hit the speedball.
Well, no,
they'll get on the boat.
people who bully do one of two things. They do that, or they shut the fuck up, go into their shell, and they comply with whatever the bully is attempting to coerce you into.
No, I didn't take that option. I took option 1.
Took option 1.
Yeah.
Good for you.
So I'm back.
Good for you. Good for the country. Good for the town.
Good for Australia.
Yeah, absolutely. There should be more of it.
Good for the world.
So, did you get anything done in the meeting other than giving you 5 minutes, or?
Well,
was there anything in there that was completely appalling? Anything wonderful? Anything?
It'll be probably widely reported next week in the Tomorrow Independent.
Widely reported. So,
there was a recommendation from council officers that we approve a DA, and there were a number of unresolved matters in the report, and a very tenuous link to some subjective material that may or may not support the DA.
Okay.
After I spoke on the matter, and a couple of other councillors spoke on the matter, and I think once someone's brave enough in a meeting like that to air their concerns and put forward their points, then others feel empowered.
It's funny how that works. They say encourage is contagious.
Yeah, well, the discussion improved, and there was some input from other councillors, and there was some support for the concepts I put forward. Now, would you believe?
So there's going to be public floggings all week? Because that's what's going to happen.
Would you believe that then a motion was put forward by another councillor to defer decision on the DA to consider a couple of points that councillor thought were appropriate. That was seconded by another councillor, of course. And I then said, "Oh, well, I'd like to propose an amendment to that motion." And that was supported by the council. So I took the additional points of concern that they had, and I added some additional points of concern that I had.
And you weren't held down.
Well, would you believe, when my amendment got put, it was supported unanimously.
Unanimous. That's big news.
And planning decisions.
Now that should be the front page of the Head Job Herald next week. That's actually
Irvine's motion amendment supported unanimously.
Yeah, far out.
And in planning decisions, it's not a yay or a nay; it's a show of hands. So it's like, yes, you can't miss me. I am making a statement. So
yeah, right.
And it's not we didn't decline the DA. Yeah. We didn't approve the DA.
Yeah, he's working through it.
Yes, but there are some outstanding issues that need to be addressed. And I don't know how the outcome of that'll be. That's in the future. The big thing was, and this is where there's some expectations and bullying that occur in local government. Council officers will make a recommendation in a report.
Yeah.
And if the council don't endorse that recommendation, then the council officers don't feel supported.
Oh, no.
They don't feel appreciated.
So hang on. So any bullshit they want to roll out, you guys? Are
No,
supposed
no,
to just go
no.
on
But
a
they
spot?
just, it's not often that a council will resolve to do something other than a recommendation.
Right.
Now we get the opportunity to interrogate the officer and ask the officer, for their reasoning and clarify any of the finer points. And more often than not, if the council officer is doing a good job and it's the proposal's got merit, it'll go through.
Right.
But there have been times when council officers complain that they're not being supported and they feel a bit sad.
No.
And the council actually intervene and do what they're supposed to do and what they're elected to do, and that's represent on behalf of the community
Yes.
and be the voice of the community, as opposed to the corporate side of council, which is where the officer's domain exists.
Sure.
So that was, to my mind,
I
I felt like that was progress in the context of Temora Shire Council. Here I am, persona non gratis,
yes.
the devil incarnate. No, I am the devil.
Oh no, I'm sitting on the couch.
They say the devil wears Prada, but the devil wears
What are you, King G?
King G.
King G today. Look at you go.
Yeah, and to have amendment to a motion supported unanimously by a group of councillors, it obviously indicates that I am engaging in the democratic process and doing my job for the community in Temora.
Yes, I think a large portion of the community is fully aware.
I think a massive proportion of the community is very aware, and I think I've just noticed there's a.
Is there a bit of a change in the wind that you?
I think there is. I think there's an air of
smell a little bit of
an air of boldness.
Yeah, right.
Among the timid.
I can't imagine where that's come from.
There's a few people out there who think maybe their opinions do matter.
Well,
there's a few people out there who think they're outside of the gang.
Yeah,
who might
there's
feel,
quite a few people
who might feel that they might not have had their concerns.
I'm a free speech advocate, right? So I'm an absolutist, really. Say whatever you want. I've done it on this program. If you want to say I'm the world's biggest arsehole, I don't not show their comments if they want to get on there.
No.
Load up. Absolutely. Been there, done that, don't care. But there is also the other side to being a free speech absolutist, and that is you don't have to listen to other people's bullshit either. You can say whatever you want. I'm not obligated to take it on board.
No.
Now, the fact that, you can turn around now, and do so is actually quite a little bright spark. And there are people in this community who don't feel confident in saying what they feel. Now, you're entitled to put forward your opinion as a free Australian human being. And no, I don't think that,
I don't know whether the law supports that position.
Unfortunately,
no.
I don't fucking care.
No.
That's not one of my superpowers, is to go, oh, well, the law, because the law is so big, broad, convoluted, and violated in this country. It's such a debacle.
And who on earth has got, like, even Gina Reinhardt?
The judges don't even know what the law is in 80% of these cases.
But even Gina Reinhardt would sit back and go, Dean said something that offended me, but I can't be bothered.
Correct.
I'm a big girl.
And there are people in this town who want to have their opinions, and they want to be heard, and they're entitled to put those opinions forward. I don't see it as they don't have 100% right to have your ear or anybody's ear. I had somebody the other day. I found myself defending John Ruddock. Yeah, I found myself defending John Ruddock, MLC, and a fine, upstanding fellow on an anonymous profile was ragging. And I just, mate, I'm fully happy for you to say whatever you like. But for some reason, you think we're also obligated to act on what you're telling us we shouldn't be doing. You're entitled to your opinion. You're entitled to put forward valid or non-valid ideas, but you're not entitled to expect the world around you to conform to whatever it is you're rolling out.
If you put forward something that makes sense and people listen to and they it actually changes their perspective, and they go, you know what, that individual has really touched a nerve, and I've seen, I've got empathy, or I've seen
the different side of that particular discussion / argument.
Yeah.
You know, like I can see great value in that. So to see local people, and you have far more direct local conversations than what I do, because I spend X amount of hours a week in Wagga.
But I live in under me rock.
Oh, you spend more time getting a coffee or a sandwich downtown than what I do, to be fair. But to hear these things and these conversations, I see a lot of it online as well, where there is this vibe. Well, I wasn't really happy. I didn't really like that. Okay, well, great. Fantastic. Put your hand up and say something about it. Put your hand up to contribute, to validate that opinion, and I think the more people get brave, the better an area, a community, a society gets, because people are brave enough to come forward with their thoughts and their opinions.
And if you have got an imbecilic position that really won't stand up to even the most basic scrutiny, you're going to put it up there, and people are going to just chop it up. And some people will do it gently with a bit of skill, and other people will just hit you with a sledgehammer.
Oh, for sure.
But you'll know next time, grasshopper, let's just consider this a bit further and make it a little bit more robust, or a little bit more considered.
Improve your argument.
Absolutely. That's what I mean. If you're going to put smack out there, guess what? It's going to get treated like smack.
You don't always have to raise your voice. Sometimes you can just improve your argument.
Yes, absolutely. That's exactly right.
Sometimes, of course, it's worth being a complete bloody bulldozer and running straight over them. But there's also pros.
Sometimes people will say you've got to be very careful doing that.
You do. I do recommend that. But hey, you do you. It's very interesting how it all works. But what I did hear today, now I haven't really read the paper. You rolled in here a few minutes back.
Yeah.
Turns out that the Labor Party branch of Temora seems to be becoming a bit of a powerhouse.
It looks to be. I think
you have to get the mayor a red T-shirt from what I was reading in there, flicking through before.
There's some real love for the Labor.
Well,
the Labor Party coming forward from our the green and yellow Y-front wearing mayor,
our illustrious mayor.
I the mayor's beside himself because he's going to absolutely.
Our mate Ron. Our mate Ron Honig's coming to town.
We've got the local.
I might attend whatever event he's at. That could be fun, because I have questions for Ron.
Today's issue of the Temora Independent, and our cub reporter.
The state government is listening.
Our cub reporter Thomas Gosling is all over this. He's loving it.
Loving it? Oh, it's a big scoop.
Loving it long time. Now, the mayor he's so excited because in the next few months, the mayor is going to have Ron Honig, the Minister for Local Government, in town.
Fine fella, Ron, sometimes when it suits him.
The mayor is also going to have Premier Chris Minns in town. That's a coup.
Oh, look. Well, that's what we need in Temora. More communists rolling on in here. It's very important.
The Premier, believe it or not, is going to attend.
It's not my birthday or anything, is it? And they're trying to stitch me up. Some communist prick coming along. He's not going to jump out of a cake at my birthday party or anything, is he?
No.
I'm just checking.
No, but the Premier, the Premier, this is the mayor's words.
Oh, God.
The Premier is a very positive and genuine man, we've learned. And he has agreed to give this advisory council an initial 2-year term. So the Premier has agreed to allow Country Mayors Association Board to have a powwow.
Oh, goody.
On a regular basis with the Premier's department.
Whoa.
Now, I'm sure that's going to involve scones, jam, Cream.
Fucking bum licking, I think, more so than anything else. Vaseline, perhaps?
Could be.
Well,
So look, and that's what I mean. The Premier's a very positive and genuine man. We've learned.
Yeah, for sure.
Like he's a champ. He's an
Well,
absolute.
Do you reckon the fact that now we're guaranteed 6 years of Labor in the country, possibly 9, realistically, based on the current state of the Liberal Party, and we'll get to that in a little bit as well. Do you reckon that a few of these characters, we'll call them, have worked out that whether they like it or not, there's going to be 6 years of Labor chaos? And as hardcore die-in-the-wall pretend conservatives, and I call them pretend conservatives because most of them are so full of shit they can't help themselves. Do you reckon they're just kind of hedging their bets, going, oh, look, when they come, hopefully we can keep our shit?
I think it's just the most blatant turncoat act that I've probably ever witnessed. It's just like
he hasn't put a ban on Michael McCormack attending events or anything, has he?
No, but he's going to try and play both sides. He's going to be trying to be friends with everyone. Listen to this. The Premier has also agreed to officially open the new REROC offices in Wagga. So REROC, River and Eastern River Regional Organisation of Councils.
Fuck. What do they need an office for?
Yes.
And how much
because they need staff.
And how
because
much
Rick's the chairman and we need staff and we need officers.
to do
and we
what?
need costs.
For what? Other than to rape and pillage our ratepayers once again.
Well, because we need a machine. We need an organisation. We need something that I can sit in front of and get photos of. Now,
you need a machine, I'll buy you a fucking whippersnipper, son.
Now, he's also going to be special guest of honour at a Temora District Education Fund dinner.
Rick or Chris?
Chris Minns on the 27th
boy,
of August.
right.
But I'm telling you,
why are we going to have this potato?
Rick will be pissing red and it won't be blood. That won't be a problem with his kidneys. It'll be just love for Labor.
You're the best.
He'll be in Labor.
Oh, fuck.
Now, that's Chris Minns, the Premier. And he's an impressive man.
An impressive man. Oh, look, fuck goodness me.
I don't know whether he saw him naked. But anyway.
Who knows? They might have been to a Diddy party.
Who knows? But anyway, coming from out there.
Look, fuck, and this...
He's an impressive man.
All this bullshit they are.
Now...
We've got to be friends. We've got to be friends. They ideologically, allegedly oppose each other in every way, shape or form on paper.
But listen to this. No, but Rick Furman is a conservative right politician who wants big government.
And socialism.
Huh?
Yeah,
what?
They're just fucking off their rockers. It's not possible. The hypocrisy is fucking oozing.
We will also be visited by the New South Wales Regional Health Minister, Ryan Park, on a date to be determined. This will be to look at our existing hospital and discuss the new hospital plans, which is another positive for us. Minister Park is an impressive man.
An impressive man.
And he seems to care about the bush in a fair dinkum way.
Oh?
Like every person from the city does.
Like, for sure.
Like,
how many threads of Crocodile Dundee lingo can we get into one fucking sentence?
Now, I think...
That's not an impressive man. This is an impressive man.
Love for Mr. Park has emanated from the fact that he agrees with him.
Of course. Fucking.
Now, Minister Park overturned the decision to close the pathology lab at Cootamundra Hospital. So that was one that Steph Cook took up the baton on. What? And see, Rick wants to promote Steph. He wants to say, look, if it wasn't for Steph starting this fight, we would never have won it. If it wasn't for Ryan Park from the Labor side of the camp being such an impressive man, and such a fair dinkum guy who loves the bush.
Top bloke.
Mate, absolute ripper. Like that. Ripper.
Aussie, oi.
I'm telling you.
Fuck. Unbelievable.
So, Steph's a winner, Ryan's a winner, and Rick is a chicken dinner.
Oh, goodness me.
So, winner, chicken dinner. Now, the only other one that we've missed out, of course, is our favourite Minister of the Labor regime,
Well,
currently lords it over New South Wales, is our good friend, the Honourable Ron Honig MP, who is, of course, the Minister for Local Government, which is about the only government area that I actually reside in, and I'll try and actually avoid most government stuff.
I try to avoid all government stuff unless I'm throwing appropriate rocks at them.
Now, Minister Honig is going to pay us a visit. So I don't know what you're doing when Minister Honig comes.
I have no idea. Maybe I'll make an appearance. I might take a day off doing productive stuff to go and ask some poignant questions of these people.
Well, this is the story that Thomas Gosling puts forward, and this is the spin. Now, we are the spin doctors, and I reckon we're going to cure a little bit in the next 5 minutes. But anyway, there's some spin, and we need to cure the spin. So, the acceptance by New South Wales Local Government Minister Ron Honig of an invitation to visit Temora Shire in early July is just one of numerous signals that relations between state and rural, regional, local government is improving dramatically. Temora Shire Mayor Rick Furman, who is also chairman of Country Mayors Association of New South Wales and Riverina Eastern Regional Organisation of Councils, said this week. Now,
I wish I had time to be the chairman of so many fucking things and,
telling you,
and work for a living and raise a family and fucking all these other important things that we all do.
How your booty would be so sore sitting on all them chairs. Now, Mayor Furman believes there is a once in 2 generations opportunity. A once in 2 generations opportunity, that's a rare opportunity, isn't it?
That sounds awfully rare. What's the opportunity here?
Now, what's a generation determined as?
Well, there's a couple of different determinations, is there not?
Yeah.
Like, there's a couple of ways that people set it up.
But what is a
Should we jump on Dr.
Yeah, we need some googs. We need some googs.
Let's have a look.
What's a generation? Because this is a
generational definition.
Yeah, because the mayor is saying that it's a once in 2 generations. Like, this is fairly specific. It's not a once in a lifetime opportunity. It's a once in a 2 generation opportunity. That's a specific descriptor. It's a once in 2 generations opportunity. It's an opening for
in modern terms, which scares the fuck out of me, but anyway, in modern terms, what is
a generation?
The defining
the
parameters.
Geez, you're specific there.
It's when you're playing with this AI shit. I've been learning this AI stuff, and I reckon some of it's all right. It scares the bejesus out of me, but it is very useful. In modern terms, what is the defining parameters of
a generation?
Of time.
Of the term generation.
Of time to describe one generation.
Okay. Because he said 2, it's specific.
In human terms.
Oh, not in dog ears.
I said, you'll be specific with this. You do the wrong, you put the weird thing. Good question, Dean. Yes, you're correct. I asked some phenomenal questions. And in 30 seconds, have a go at this. It's very impressive. Good question, Dean. You're the best ever. You're extremely good looking, funny. No, I just had that little bit myself.
Oh, did you?
I put some spin on my own spin, and everybody knows I was joking, right?
I thought you were Thomas Gosling talking about the Labor government.
In modern terms, a generation in human context typically refers to the average time between the birth of parents and the birth of their children.
Goodness gracious.
This is often called the generational interval or generational length, defining parameters of a generation, modern terms, average length. Most commonly, one generation is considered to be 20 to 30 years. 20 to 25 years is often used for demographic and genealogical studies. 25 to 30 years is sometimes used in historical or sociological contexts. Factors including influencing the interval, cultural norms, age at which people typically have children, life expectancy, socioeconomic factors, technological and societal changes, which can influence how generations are defined. Example, millennials or Gen Z. Contemporary usage, genealogy, 25 years per generation is a common standard. population studies, 20 to 30 years is used for modelling population growth.
We'll call it 25.
Sociology, marketing, generations are sometimes defined by shared experiences rather than time intervals. Example, baby boomers born 1946 to 1964. So there's a good little demonstration for anybody who doesn't know, the AI stuff. That was how quick that spat that out at me, like $1 million little robber. Yeah, you're looking at 20 to 25. Nathan Goods put up 20 to 25. How are you, Nathan? Good to see you joining the program, sir.
We'll call it 25 for tonight's purposes. So our mayor,
so 50 to 60 years.
Our mayor seems to think,
as long as it takes to get a bypass around tomorrow.
Yes, there is a 2-generation opportunity, so a 50-year opportunity opening for major reform and strengthening the local government sector, because we want to strengthen government, we want to entrench it, and we want to have it like absolutely entwined in every part of our lives.
I want to minimise it at every opportunity. I want to defund every opportunity. I'm just telling you, I know you are. We have people watching who might take you.
I was being sarcastic.
A bit like me saying I'm good looking, charming, and funny, perhaps.
To his credit, Minister Honig is determined to get this right, and we will continue to work right beside him as a Country Mayors Association of New South Wales, as REROC and Temora Shire, hand on heart. Now, we've never had a minister that is as hands-on as Minister Honig.
That's. I don't want to know that.
That's
no touch.
Yeah.
No touchy. There will be no touching.
Which we applaud.
Christ.
The strongest sign is a handshake agreement last week to form a new Premier's rural. Off he goes with his Chrissy Minns thing. Anyway, there's some man love in the room.
Some very big man love. The Labor Party seems to be very, very popular with our mayor at the moment.
I think that we are going to have a branch of the Labor Party opening up in Temora very shortly. I think the chairman of that branch will be the mayor.
I think there is a couple of Labor Party people in town. The campaigns I've done, I've been on booze with people, really nice people too. Some of them are fantastically nice. I don't go in for any of their politics whatsoever. It's quite. What the fuck is that?
Well, that's another page in the paper.
Jesus H. Christ. I'm too old for this.
Well, I'm just saying, like, not only is the mayor of Temora Shire Council, and he chairs the monthly meeting, but he's also the chair of the Country Mayors Association. He's also the chair of REROC, the
Red Shield Appeal.
Riverina Eastern Regional Organisation of Councils, I think that an acronym says it. But in his spare time,
oh Christ!
Another hat that he wears is the mayor is the chair of the Temora Local Health Advisory Committee. He's also chair of the Red Shield Appeal Committee. He's also on the church committee. He's also on the sports council. He's also on a regional health advisory. He's also on the Boundaries Commission.
In the nicest way possible. I'm not going to that man for health advice.
I'm telling you.
If I want advice
in the nicest way possible, how on earth can he have any idea of what on earth's going on when he's in meetings all his life and not actually at the coalface?
It's got me baffled. It does baffle me. Look, this isn't even just a pile on Rick Dale and the fact that the Bugle here seems to have 25 fucking pages of Rick shit again.
Look, Bugle's headline has always been, since they changed colour, it's been printed in blue.
Blue?
Yeah, which is
Liberal Party blue.
Yeah, that's right.
In the train going off the cliff, yeah?
Add yellow.
Led by Susan with double S's because a clairvoyant said she should. I'll tell you what, it's inspiring.
Just some editorial advice, Pete. I would put that in red and I would have a hammer up there.
A hammer and sickle.
I'd have a sickle
just before
a sickle down here. And we could call it the Temora Independent Trades Union newsletter.
I'll tell you what, it's interesting, isn't it?
Well, it's just interesting to see how a political animal can change their spots.
Oh, look, they're all so full of shit. And I've been saying it for as long as I've had a fucking voice.
Yes.
They are full of shit.
Yeah.
They're hypocrites.
But I think
and people have said to me, why do you get involved in the space? I get in the space because I fucking can't stand this bullshit.
No, but
I don't want any of them.
You can't talk like that. You've got to put some red blue sticks on. And
I won't kiss the Liberal Party's bottom. I won't kiss the Labor Party's bottom.
What?
When I dislike what they're doing, I'm going to say it.
You're going to go nowhere, son.
Look, I'm fairly sure Albo will have me in a gulag as soon as he can get sorted. But, I look so bad. I can live with that. The other little part that I was going to bring up in here, 1 in 10 of us wasted our vote, says Mr. McCormack.
Well, how many first preference votes did Michael get?
Fuck. I don't know. Fucking too many. Now, I've said this before about Michael. Obviously, we've been on the debate stage a couple of times and we've had some interesting little fucking things.
But Michael got elected, so that the figure's got to be higher than 1 in 10.
Little Mikey rolled in on that. Well, yeah, that's right.
Because that isn't going to change the destiny of the Riverina.
No. And again,
in the foreseeable future.
Nothing of any significance is going to happen under this bloke's leadership. We've already seen that.
Well, particularly when he's in opposition.
Well, he's in opposition. When he was Deputy Prime Minister, nobody get anything done, and that's not a personal dig at Michael.
No,
that's
ScoMo got a lot done when he was Deputy Prime Minister. ScoMo made himself captain of the cricket team, the footy team, the soccer team, the tennis club, the golf.
Was he the chairman of Re-Rock?
No.
Hang on a minute. There's a problem.
But Michael sat there and allowed all that to occur and didn't take ScoMo at the back and slap him.
No, of course he didn't, because he was enough in on it that I'm sure he's got his own little shitstorm that, don't bring that up. We don't want that in the paper.
No.
I mean, I could throw a couple out there, but that's neither here nor there.
Anyway, that was...
I look at this and I go, okay, so... Now, and here's an interesting thing, right? We've got... The results are in. The Nationals came first, Labor came second, and Informal finished third. So the rise of the Labor Party is strong in the area.
So we need to start a party called the Donkey Party.
The Donkey Party. Well,
and we need to collect the informal votes and actually have them go to the Donkey Party.
The informal votes does a couple of things. One, I know an awful lot of people who detest the idea of voting altogether, and they do kind of go in there and they donkey vote.
Well, they're
entitled to, particularly when they're forced to vote.
Yes.
Now,
and if you don't want to vote, then you have to vote.
You're going to get this is the sort of shit you get.
Yeah.
Including McCormack being elected, including Albo being elected. This is what happens
when 30% of the people vote for you, and the rest of us have to vote.
That's right.
And then we've got a two-party preferential system that favours.
Exactly right. So, I oppose compulsory voting. I think it's a shit idea to force people who aren't inclined. I also think the people who are on the wrong end of it who sit there and go, oh, well, I don't vote. By the way, I hate all this. Is it corrupt? Probably. Were there ballots found in a bloke's backyard the other day, whatever it was? Yep, there were. And do I think that they're innocent of a certain amount of corruption? God, no. Did Albo import as many fucking possible voters as humanly available? Yep, God, yes, he did. Does the system stink? Yep. But I would much rather be in a position where at least we get half a go at a ballot box if we want one, than be in a country where they go, you don't get a say. Open your trap, we shoot you. So there's still some benefits there to having that option.
But
I suppose it's being mandated.
Here we are. Like I say, you go back to that other story, and we've got a right conservative mayor of Temora Shire Council.
Are you sure it's conservative? Is he sure it's conservative?
Well, he's LNP. Well, he's certainly a National Party supporter. No, but he wants big government. He wants more government. He wants more committees. He wants more.
Yeah.
And it's just this whole profligation of committees and it goes nowhere.
No,
it's reports and it's this and it's that and it's all.
It's just generating things. Now, I was reading a thing the other day and I'm thinking it was The Economist that's basically said that per capita Australia has a bigger public service than any other country in the world. Which means we are
overgoverned
we're heading towards oblivion. It's going to be. Well, yeah,
the cliff is imminent.
Yeah,
Lemmings,
for sure.
lemmings.
And I'm looking forward to it now. There was a time I was like, no. Now I'm just going, let it go, let it burn. You can't save these people from themselves. No. They're not listening. They're not understanding what's going to happen.
We get caught up in the conflagration, and it's just
it's really frustrating.
If someone said to me today they were going to declare an area of Australia terra
Hutt River, we're going to go up there and
terra nullius.
Hutt River province, we'll all move up there. That'll be fine.
And start again.
Yeah. I'd consider it very, very strongly selling up and going, let's go there.
One of people that we've had on the show in the past, and I do support her position in respect of the trying to have the WA gun laws repealed.
Katie, yeah.
Is Kate Fentanyl, who has a presence in Australia, Lady Liberty Australia.
Yep.
Has recently emigrated to Texas.
Yeah. Hanging out with my man Dan, taxation is theft, Burman.
And Texans are imminently freer than Australians.
Yes.
And a hell of a lot more invested in maintaining that freedom. And you know what? Hi, Katie. Good move.
Yeah. Look, it's not a silly idea at all.
Yeah, here we are.
It has a lot of merit.
The Australia that we grew up in, and the egalitarian, freedom-loving Aussie that used to be a larrikin and a free spirit and do a few silly things, but it was all.
As long as nobody got hurt, who gives a shit?
That's right. Everyone got a bit of a laugh, and it was a fun place to be. It's getting choked. The life is getting absolutely choked out of this place. I'm telling you that we've got to pay, and we spoke about this last week, but even I went through.
Hey, Scotty, here you go, bud.
I went through one layer of just going to go down to the river to try and go fishing.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
And it was the fishing license, the boat license, the registration on the boat, the registration on the boat trailer, the driver's license for your car, the registration on your car. Right, and that was just to go fishing.
Yeah, just to go fishing in this country.
But if you want to go fishing in a national park now in Australia, you've got to book your site. There's booking fees. It's at the point where you've got to go, what's it going to cost me to go outside today? What's it going to cost me to walk across the street? Who's got a tax on me staying inside? How the fuck?
It's going to get better too, don't you worry.
My wife told me I swear too much, and particularly on this show.
Look, I did too, but
How the hell?
Yep.
And it's not going to get any better.
No.
Can you imagine what the next 6 years
years
under a Labor government are going to be like in terms of taxation? Because we're running out rapidly of people who are productive. Australia's GDP per capita has been declining for a number of years. The only way they've been getting some positive GDP growth is by importing 500,000 to 600,000 immigrants every year.
Yeah.
And that creates some false impression
that we're doing well.
Australia's gross GDP goes up, but only because you've imported a heap of people.
Yeah.
The per capita productivity of Australia is going down, and it'll continue to go down whilst ever anyone who's got any initiative, any get up and go, is just
battered into oblivion.
Anyone who has the temerity to make a buck gets robbed.
Yep.
And if you're not getting robbed, if people aren't coming into your home doing home invasions, robbing you, the government's robbing you the other way.
Yep. You're either
the people who've done the home invasion,
lawfully robbed or unlawfully robbed.
The people who've done the home invasion and robbed you will go to court, and they'll get let off, and they'll be back next week to rob you again, much like the government who will be back next week to rob you again. It's just, there's no protection for the average person. There's no freedom for the average person. Even in our own country, it's our fault if someone breaks into our car and steals our gear.
Oh, for
It's
sure.
our fault. Like,
But I guarantee
lock up your valuables.
But if
No.
if somebody comes through my fucking window and I club them with a bat, which I can assure you, if I catch you climbing through my window, I'm going to club you with a bat. And I will not be apologising, and I won't be reporting you to the police either. But if that happens, the chances are I'll be the one who has charges filed.
Oh, no doubt, because you're there.
You're in my home.
Yeah. Yeah, you've come into my home.
That I get
to do bad things to me.
That I get raped and pillaged for regularly with my mortgage and my taxes and my rates and all these other bullshit fees that go towards me having the audacity to buy a home.
Only some sort of a title that's questionable anyway, and they probably won't give you a paper title for it.
No, they don't do that anymore. That's
electronic
now. Yes, you can have. It's far easier to delete that way when they decide. Guess what, everybody?
The virus.
Yeah, they love their viruses. These people. Yes, it's look, it's pretty shady. Hence why, if I do catch somebody coming in through the window, rest assured I will not be calling the police.
And the tree will grow out in that bit of the garden.
Quite possibly, yes, maybe. Who knows? Don't know.
You've got some big trees out the back.
Oh.
Is something you're not telling us?
I'm all for gardening. Gardening's fine.
That's a broken window.
Yeah.
And I thought those marks on the cricket bat for just like from middle and 6 inches.
That's what it is. Don Brodman, number 2. The bingo. That's how it works. But I mean, look, the whole country's been raped, pillaged, and violated over and over again. It's going to get worse. We know it's going to get worse. How I took a fairly vested.
Did you see that one? That comment's pretty valid.
Well, that's why I've left it up. Do you want to bring up? You read it. I normally read the comments.
Okay, it's come on from a vocal supporter of the show and a stand-up Aussie Sheila.
You can't call her a Sheila, mate. Somebody will be offended.
A couple of months ago, John Larder, who was sacked for refusing the COVID jab, questioned the health advisory on Mayor Rick Furman's page. If they were investigating the injuries, so disappointed that his comments got deleted quick smart. Well, I'm disappointed as well, Kristen, there is no doubt, but I'm not surprised. Because when you switch from doing what's right and fair and ethical and true to a mode where you are protecting a government that wants to overreach and trample on your human rights and your freedoms, well, that's the stuff you do. That's as black and white as I can put that.
The whole blocking, and I think I've blocked 2 people in my entire life. 2. And considering the online presence, I guess I participate in. 2's a pretty limited.
That's not bad.
I reckon, and they're pretty fucking extreme.
You've had a few coming at you.
I don't mind them coming at me. There was a couple there that were, righto. Now you're starting to just.
They're a bit silly.
Silly's one word for it. So, But you got to work pretty hard to get me to block you.
Yeah.
Apparently, some people who were even caught watching this program could be blocked by the man.
Really?
Apparently, I've heard that. I don't know that for sure because I'm not on his Facebook. I don't.
No, well, I'm not either.
And I haven't received an invitation. I'm a bit surprised, really. So, what do you make about all the fucking leadership shuffles? Haven't that been fun?
Yes, but yes and no. Look, honestly, Susan has been given the job of driving a V8 Falcon across the Nullarbor, and it's got 3 ball tyres and 1 flat tyre, and it's only firing on 2 cylinders.
But it's okay.
And Susan's got,
that it was going to be all right.
Susan's got 10 litres of petrol. Okay. So good luck, Susan. Okay. Now, I don't want to make it any worse, but I think the truckie who went up the freeway in Sydney dropping all that metal's probably been up the track just before you too. So chances of you piloting this shit any further than about halfway to the next roadhouse is about 1 duck egg. 1 duck egg. 1 duck egg.
I'm not going to lie.
Angus
happy.
Angus Taylor's dodged a bullet because honestly, wouldn't you be better off working on your golf swing, painting whatever your wife wants painted on the house, mowing the lawns, working on your hobbies, becoming a better person. And then in about 3 or 4 years' time, when everyone's forgotten how shit the Liberal Party are, maybe then you might consider being leader. But really, at the moment, it's like saying, no, but it's like saying, find me the most decrepit company, the most poorly run company in Australia, and please make me CEO, and I'll turn it around.
I'll turn it around without any skills, but I've got my clairvoyant there to help me.
Yeah,
and she will guide me through these troubles.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
Look, I'm happy for it because, as far as I'm concerned, the Liberal Party just is dead.
Well, if Miss Voyant can
and
help
it's funny because look, here I'm finding myself. I'm not a conservative, but I guess I'm a right-leaning libertarian for sure. And I sit there and I
you
go,
certainly don't like socialism. I've picked that up.
Fucking detest it.
Yeah. So and the next best choice is, at the very least,
yeah, in theory, on paper, certainly on paper.
Yes.
On paper, the blue team is supposed to be better in that arena than the red team.
You'd think they'd represent a little bit harder in that space, but as we know, blue and red in the same bed.
Yeah, very much so.
So realistically,
as our local paper is indicating,
I'm telling you, it was just amazing. It's like he had a costume. It was like a stage show where they flicked the costume off, and all of a sudden it's gone from blue to red.
Well, this is going to go along with all the rainbow flags that are up at the high school at the moment, apparently. Which I'll deal with that through the week. I think that's going to be an interesting one from what I've had unfold today in information wise. I'm like, oh, okay, well, that'll be a show. But I'll tell you,
it's certainly there's some change that's occurring at probably at a pace that some of the locals are finding a little bit
uncomfortable. And the other side of it is, none of that shit belongs in school. Mm-hmm. They don't need
when I went to school,
fucking rainbow flags. They do not need any of this fucking bullshit. I'd like my kid to be able to count. I'd like him to be able to count, do a bit of maths. Mm-hmm. I'd like to be able to read, spell, comprehend. Mm-hmm. If he knows a bit about history and geography, so that when he's got to go and save Susan Lay from being on the side of the road,
school used to be the 3 hours, and council used to be the 3 hours.
Well, now it's still retarded. I
was reading, writing, and
arithmetic. Yeah.
And roads, rates, and rubbish. Now, both of those values still hold true in my mind.
No offense is taken, Sheila's. Yes. But yeah, look, I mean, and this is the sort of bullshit that's going on, but if we're going to have a Conservative Party that's not conservative at all, and we the people are left to arguably, out of a two-party preferred system, to choose two socialist parties, and one's just a watered-down version of the other, eradicate the weak one, make that one what it is, and then everybody with some balls, brains, and testicular fortitude on the other side of it who go, this is bullshit, can actually create something with some principle and have an actual valid fight back. They can just fucking...
You just outlined Albo's game plan.
Albo's winning.
Because Albo eradicated...
I agree.
...the other socialist party.
He has, and you know what? Good. I don't have to sit there and think about which dipshit's leading a feckless Liberal Party to disappoint everybody and break their hearts and truly fail to be a Conservative Party. And why I find myself defending the fucking Conservative Party, because they're too weak, too insipid, too busy kissing the Premier's ass to be conservative and fight for their values.
They're impressive men.
No, fucking these people
don't have enough power.
Yes, they've got some titles. If they had one shred of integrity, one shred of principle, all these Conservatives who I'm now fucking stuck defending on the behalf of could arguably go, listen, that's bullshit. We just got towed up for being hopeless. Let's find a leader who's going to fight. They actually had one put his hand up, and guess what? He didn't win. Who's surprised about that? Nobody.
He'll end up in time probably at One Nation or something.
Mate, no, Canavan's he does live on the fact that whilever he's in that room, he's got half a chance of keeping it going off a cliff. I don't know why he does it to himself, to be honest. The response that he got was phenomenal. If I was,
I'm not going to work every day with a spanner to fix shit.
Oh no, fuck! I'd be burning the joint down by now. I'm ready to do it now. On the bright side, the Greens have a new leader as well.
But I'd leave him with it.
Who's that? The Greens or the Nats?
Yeah, look, he doesn't fit.
No,
he doesn't fit in that room.
No, nobody else fits in that room based on their principles. He's about the only one in there that actually adheres to any of the Conservative Party fucking principles.
If you're watching, Matt, just wake up and look around the room and go, you know what?
I would have now, and this will probably upset the mayor, but if Canavan had got a win, and he had a win in there with a straw broom, and went, you know what? I would have actually sat back and went, well, I'll head up the libertarian wing of your new fucking show, Matt. I won't be changing my principles. I won't be signing off on any bullshit, but I will support you in trying to get the country back on track. Net zero is a farce. It's bullshit. Free speech needs to be enshrined in this country.
No, but we're talking about net zero isn't a farce and it isn't bullshit because it's happening. And it's happening now in Australia.
He's the very
and it's coming like a train.
And
you're going to pay.
The only way net zero happens is if there's no humans left on the planet and no animals, because we all create carbon just by our very existence. Now, these idiots that go
carbon dioxide.
We're still creating.
No, the trees need carbon dioxide.
But
they just don't need our carbon dioxide.
Unfortunately, they've got it. And all this, nuclear, and I like nuclear as a power source. I like it better than you like it. But it's not net zero.
No,
it just doesn't.
Nuclear for the potential energy that it can yield.
Yes.
What I don't like is humans managing it.
I don't like humans managing anything. I don't argue
So I don't want impressive men like Ryan Park, Chris Minns, and Ron Honey running nuclear. I don't want impressive men like Matt Canavan. I don't want ScoMo. Imagine ScoMo says, I'm going to make myself treasurer, health minister.
I'm also the nuclear minister, but I'm going to be the safety officer.
Yeah, I'll be the safety officer, the risk manager, OH&S.
Hopefully he's on it when it blows up, whatever.
Oh, look, and that's the problem.
It's the same problem. So you go through. We went into obviously the election period where people were saying to me, "How can you not want a government?" Do you know how stupid people are? People are a disaster. If you just leave them, if you just leave them to their own devices, anything could happen. I'm like, what animal do you think makes up fucking government? The same humans you're telling me how dumb they are. I don't disagree with Councillor Foley. When it comes to the politics of this nation, we are a bunch of fucking idiots. And I don't just mean the Riverina, I mean the whole goddamn country. We are, as a collective, dumb as a bag of rocks, politically.
If you had some empirical way of measuring the knowledge in the community of the football, the codes, be it whatever code you like.
Doesn't matter, you throw it all in the hat.
Or something that affects,
or how the preferencing,
or something that affects your life as deeply as who's leading you and
who's leading and stealing from you, violating
how far off how just rapidly you're approaching the cliff.
Yeah,
Australia would have a football IQ of 95, and a political IQ of 5.
Absolutely,
and I agree. Foley was pretty close to the mark.
Of course it was, and people are so offended by it. It's like, pull your finger out of your ass. Here's the reality of it. There are still people arguing, where is that party sending my preference? Parties don't send the preferences. You fucking do.
Yeah, with your pencil.
You write it in there and you go, I want this. All the party does is recommend to you what it reckons, which all that does is give you a bit of an indication.
Back in the day,
flirting with it. There was
back in the day, you could put a 1 in one box and then you would abandon your choice.
You'll follow the vote. Just yes,
and your preferences would flow to what the party.
There was a period of time, but that is no longer a thing.
No.
And we're still arguing with people who like to tell us how smart they are.
Yes, but that was in the 30s.
Fuck.
After the Depression.
Oh, fuck, I'm depressed. I am depressed. I'm here looking.
We're nearly in the 30s again.
Well, it's coming up
probably,
a mile an hour.
Isn't it? It's history repeating.
It'll happen again. It's going to hurt.
The same mistakes.
You know.
I didn't see that coming.
Mate, I tell you, the phone calls I got Sunday morning.
Oh, yeah.
They were phenomenal. Like, and you've been around me at times when my phone's going a bit silly with these sorts of things.
I turn it off.
And they just say to me, well, I didn't see that coming. I'm like, how could you not?
But it's the same at council. I'm telling you, some of the decisions that get made, people sit there and they completely ignore common sense. 100%. And I sit there in that room and I'm 1v8 and I just go, oh my God, are you that bereft of even the slightest ability to analyse what's been put before you?
Just to think and just to critically think and to look at something. Now, hang on, there's something not quite right with this.
We discussed a couple of months ago a decision from council to donate 90 cubic metres of a material
that
they're not in control of. And this material was excavated from the roadworks in Hoskins Street. And the request was to donate it to put under as a shed footing for a community organisation, a club.
Yeah.
Now, the material is classified as solid waste. Now, there's no way at all in planning, building codes that can be accepted.
Yeah.
And a council officer's report just left it open, and council voted to donate the material that is classified as solid waste and to donate the cartage. And I sat there and I said, no, no. I said, the only way that I will remotely support this, if you get that material tested and if it tests safe, I'll be satisfied.
Like a COVID test?
No.
But what if
No. I'm talking about a proper test whereby you can actually test the material and see whether it contains asbestos or hydrocarbons or other materials that are known to be detrimental to one's well-being.
Like COVID.
I didn't say COVID. I said things that we know about hydrocarbons or asbestos or other things that we know cause harm. So, and I sat there in that room and I was the lone voice and I was the only councillor in that room to vote against that proposal. And they all sat there and they went, yes, we want this. We want council to put solid waste onto this site that we own. Would you believe we own the block of land and we lease that space to this community organisation? So we are actually going to put our own contaminated waste on our own block of land. Now, seriously.
Potentially contaminated waste. It doesn't mean tested.
No.
You don't know.
Well,
it may not be contaminated. We don't know.
No, but it's classified as solid waste. So it's solid waste until proven otherwise. And the only hope it can have of being proven otherwise is via testing. Okay, so it's guilty until proven innocent. Okay, so that is yet to be determined. Now, I drove past that site the other day, and would you believe what was piled up there? Would you have a guess what was piled up there?
COVID.
No, there wasn't 6 truckloads of COVID. There were 6 truckloads of freshly quarried ridge gravel.
Yeah, right.
Not the material that the resolution referred to.
Oh, goody.
What happened?
How did that happen?
I don't know. I'm waiting on some direction as to how this occurred. Apparently, council didn't even own the material that we gifted. Because
Where's more ratepayer did they steal it from?
Well, apparently Transport for New South Wales actually own it, and they said, no, you can't give that shit away. We need that for some future roadwork.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So here we are as a council, like giving away material we're not in control of, that is classified as solid waste, to put in a shed footing on ground that we own, that we lease to work. Now, I'm going to tell you, guess how much this community organisation pays per year to lease the land off councils?
Do tell.
Guess how much?
$100.
Lower. 15.
$15 a year.
A year.
Well, that's fantastic.
If you take into account postage and the time it would take to generate that invoice, council would be negative on that deal.
Of course, because you're going to pay 85 people to do it.
But you have to pay someone to actually remember that and just send them a bill. And you're going to put a stamp on it and an envelope and a piece of A4 paper.
Oh, Christ.
We're under, and then we're going to put our toxic waste on our own land.
Well, for $15, they can't expect to have good quality stuff. Like, surely they should be getting the toxic stuff. That's how it works.
That's right. Here, build your premises or your clubhouse or whatever you might call it on our toxic waste dump. We've got an asbestos. We've got an offal pit out at the tip. Now it smells a bit,
but it's all yours if you want.
But it's cheap.
Oh, all right. My goodness me. That's fantastic.
And that's the room. That's the room I go to once a month, and it's a reality check.
The offal pit?
No. Council.
Oh,
and when I come out of the room, I always feel better. I just feel like a better person for being there. And I just.
Do the councillors, other than the mayor, get to wear like robes and big chains like
the mayor doesn't wear robes on the day.
Oh,
he wears his best suit and puffs up like a prime racing pigeon. But apart from that, he doesn't wear.
Doesn't have the Flav cloak.
No, he doesn't wear the big bling. No, he saves that for special.
I thought that was kind of special. You know, he's staying at you for an evening.
Well, I'll be interested because we are going to transition, and you're going to be a part of this, I'm sure.
Oh, what am I getting dragged into now? This will be fun.
We're going to transition from audio only played, like released after the fact, to live streaming council.
Oh, well, I did. I offered to fund that portion with the same technology that I'm using here.
As cash strapped as council is, when it comes to live streaming council meetings, I'm telling you, we are going to have. I'm sure.
We can set up the finest live stream. I'll do it.
But we're talking about when you consider the characters that we're dealing with here. Are they going to trust that to you?
If they've got any brains, they will.
I'm sure that
the only thing you don't have to trust is you won't be able to edit it. It will be fucking unedited.
No. I'm sure
it'll be warts and all, baby.
I'm sure. Harry and Miller.
Who?
Harry and Miller.
Who's Harry and Miller?
A big promoter, producer, make it happen in Australia, like involved in the entertainment scene.
Oh, okay. There you go.
You know, there's going to be, like, who's that guy from New Zealand? What's his name? Did a couple of movies about some the dragons and the staff, hobbits and short people and.
Hobbits and short people.
Yeah.
Dwarves, midgets.
Lord of the Rings. Who was the?
Oh, Peter Jackson.
Peter Jackson.
Named after the cigarettes and the rugby league player.
I reckon when we start live streaming our council meetings, I think we're going to need somebody
of his calibre.
Well,
are you suggesting that I couldn't create
something
starring midgets?
But you're going to have some letters after your name. And I'm just tipping like to really capture the essence of the
Peter Jackson. Thank you, Nathan. Yeah, I thought that's who it was.
But to capture these impressive people,
impressive people,
impressive mans and women. Like we're going to need lighting. We're going to need makeup.
Makeup. It's escalating. I'm not providing makeup. That's not happening.
No, we'll have to council chambers will have to be convertible to dressing rooms. Like we're going to have to dress up, and I reckon that's when the bling will come out.
Oh fuck!
I reckon you're going to see a production. It's going to make cats.
Well, here's what I'll say.
Yeah.
If council wastes a shit ton of money on all this production and bullshit, when for I think cost me about $70 a month.
Can you imagine
for this fine production with which we are?
But what if we win an Academy Award for it? What if it's like the Academy Award
Goes to Puff Daddy.
Goes to Temora Shire Council for their council meeting.
Fuck.
And Director of the Year, Peter Jackson.
Peter Jackson, care of Temora Shire Council.
Yeah.
The leading man. I wonder who's going to win that one.
Oh, well.
You know, who's going to win the leading man? Who would win that award?
Well,
leading
there's
man.
only really one candidate, isn't there?
Fuck, well, there's only one person in the movie.
The mayor.
Yeah, well, no, I'm not attending. I'm busy.
Yeah.
I'm busy.
Yeah. So that's where it's trending. Because I'm telling you, there will be some bling, there will be some production, and there will be
all bullshit and jokes aside. If they spend more than $70 a month,
mate,
on what it takes,
they are going to spend more than $70 a month.
Well, they can absolutely.
Would you believe tonight? I actually brought the whole show to a stop at one point tonight because I moved my microphone that far, and I didn't even notice because my microphone was sitting over here, and like, there's no point me being in a room if no one can hear me.
Yeah, well, sure.
No.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, I just need to make sure you can hear me.
Yeah.
So I moved my mic about 6 inches, so it was just within QE. Anyway, would you believe the lead out the back of it actually unplugged? And I disconnected the whole rest of the table. So all the councillors to the right of me are actually disconnected because it's all dating chained together.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Anyway, no one knew, and I didn't even know I'd done it, right? So next minute, a couple of councillors wanted to speak and they couldn't hear him. So called the IT guy up. He came up. He's under the bench. He's looking around. He's trying to find the problem. And then I've looked behind mine. I've gone, hang on. And I plugged it back in. And then away we go. The whole show's back on.
Yeah, you solved it that simply.
Plugged it back in.
Surely you could have, I don't know, called for more help.
No, I plugged it back in and it worked.
Did you fill out a form?
No.
Do that?
But what I'm saying is we can't have that happen if we're going live and it's live streamed and we're on, because imagine how many people will be tuning in.
Probably, I don't know, 5, 10?
No, there'll be more than that.
You reckon?
Oh.
You're trying to say that they're going to try and take ratings away from us. That's it, right? I'm not doing it.
The mayor.
You can't watch it if he's in it.
No, he'll have it on at home.
He'll have it on video, yeah, for sure.
The mayor's mum. The mayor's mum's friend. Steph will watch. Michael will watch it every night.
Are we besties? No, we kind of catch up once a week usually to have this discussion. Don't be deceived.
Don't be deceived. We're besties. Look at us go.
Oh, no. In fact, Cheech and Chong, Batman and Robin.
Yeah, absolutely. Spin doctors.
Spin doctors.
Dr. Dean, Dr. Herb. Curing it every day.
Every day.
Every day. Now, I'm telling you, this production level isn't going to do for Temora Shire Council. This is stuff that the plebs do.
Really?
I'm telling you, it's going to be a big show.
That's fun.
It's going to be a big show. It have to be. Look at some big personalities, and they want to be on the big screen.
Big personalities.
And we're going to capture all of the riveting.
When we talk about this, the charisma that's oozing out of some of these people.
Absolutely. It is just
the Tom Cruise style good looks.
Oh, look, Councillor Nigel Judd, the longest serving councillor in New South Wales currently. When he gets going, it's something to behold.
Is it?
Oh,
I've never seen him at full flight. I've only ever seen him partial flight, really.
No, I've never seen him flap the wings, but I'm telling you, I've heard.
I've heard rumours. I've heard whispers about the outrageous, over the top personality. That's
just the stirring. What do they call it? Orations, or the stirring presentations, or the arguments that they put forward so forthrightly with such vigour.
Do they stomp their feet?
No.
Oh, so we had that recently.
Oh, well, I don't know. You can't hear because most of the time,
we had that recently. A guy was upset with me.
Nigel's got the slippers. Nigel's got the slippers on.
Slippers on.
So stomping the slippers.
Oh.
No, he doesn't wear slippers. but sometimes he does have a little nap.
Is that right?
Although I think nowadays he's taking no-dos or something.
I remember when Fred Nile was still in Parliament,
He had a little.
and that's him napping.
I've seen a few of them.
Old Fred, yeah. Which, to be honest, most of it's boring as batshit. I can fully understand the desire to go.
That's his cancer.
I would fall asleep during most of that shit too, without a doubt.
Yeah, about 5 minutes out of 2 hours a month's probably worth. They need to do a highlights reel. That'd be something Peter Jackson can do. He can do.
But I reckon he had the skills. I've got no editing ability whatsoever.
No, that's all we need, Peter.
So that's why I just said everything's going to be live and up and running. Don't be deceived, you get a little bit excited here. Hold hands, kiss. Apparently, I look good with hair. That's a bit of a worry.
Nice.
I mean, I look good anyway. Yeah.
Nice one.
Very, very good looking.
No, our OnlyFans page. He's got us confused with our OnlyFans page.
Yeah, that'd be a wild show. Need a box of no-dos to watch those meetings. Yeah, bloody, I reckon, big fella, I reckon. It is a wild show, though, to think that they're going to spend, if they're going to spend some stupid amount of money on it. I want it live streamed.
Of course they're going to
But
spend
proof is in the pudding that you don't need to spend big coin.
No, but even still, we're going to have to rearrange even the way that, I believe we're going to have to rearrange the way that the chamber's organised, because it doesn't lend itself to good video. And the lighting in there is really poor.
But it doesn't need to be good video. Realistically.
No, it does. It needs to be
it
accurate. It needs to be accurate, evidential quality video.
Yeah. So up in a corner, everybody's visible.
Yeah, but that's the problem.
Everybody
the way it is the front bench, where the high and mighty sit, elevated above.
Oh, so it did sit upper.
There is an upper, mate. I'm telling you, they step up. Yeah.
That's funny as.
Yeah, no, they're elevated.
Oh, goodness me.
Yeah, escalated, closer to God.
Oh, yeah, fuck.
And then there's the horseshoe that comes around here. So you can't put a camera in the middle and catch them and not them, and you can't get them, and you can't. It's going to take, look, I'm talking, we need a director. We're going to need cameras, we're going to need camera angles.
Yeah, right.
No, it's real.
Yeah, okay.
That's
fine.
Like
That's
the other alternative,
the building,
look,
yeah.
if we wanted to, we could take all the furniture out and put some bean bags in there and all sit around in a big circle and put the camera over there.
Yeah.
Meetings. We could do that.
You can all sit around, hold hands, sing Kumbaya.
Oh, according to the scene, we could.
We could, yeah, that's pretty wild.
So I don't know. Like I say, I just know that the way this council really wants to roll and project itself. Can you imagine just look, the local hairdressers and that would be going.
Oh, look, the makeup, the beauticians,
and John Hardy.
And in the nicest possible way, you'd like to need an awful lot of makeup to make you look pretty good.
Mate,
it would require a lot of makeup.
Dentistry,
plastic surgery,
extensions in reductions, additions, subtractions.
Has Ron got a hairpiece, do you reckon?
Ron's in excess of 70 years old, and his hair,
it's just immaculate.
Mate, I had hair like him when I was 16, and then it left. Ron's has hung around.
Ron's, if you, let's have a, hang on, see how this works here.
He is a good looking.
Yeah, good looking rooster, you reckon? That's a fine head of hair on Ron Honig. Look at that. Look at that.
Bad, is it?
I'll tell you what, fine looking fellow for sure.
Now, I'll tell you how old this young rooster is. He's virile and he's impressive.
How many girlfriends has he got? Do you know it's a great
He's got a wife.
It's all happening. Oh, hang on. Goodness me.
What?
I'm just trying to keep up here. Goodness.
There's some
toupee. That's an outrageous claim there, deceived.
No, to be a one pay at most.
Oh shit! How funny.
He's 72.
72. It's tough at the top.
Like, there's a picture of this fine rooster, and I'm telling you, does that look like a 72-year-old?
We don't look real fucking happy in that photo. Like, could you have found a less happy-looking photo of poor old Ron?
No, he looks a bit.
He looks very dejected. He looks like he worked out that, we're not going anywhere.
He might have worked out.
He's just got the memo that we're not going anywhere, and
Maybe he just looked at his life and just thought, I've been in local government and now I'm in politics and I'm 72 and I wish I could go back to the start again and do something meaningful.
Something worthwhile, you reckon?
I wish I could be a tradie and change the world.
But I represent the Workers' Party.
And unblock drains and actually impact people's lives positively. You know, connect the electric light power and build a house or swing a door. All those good things.
Swing a door.
Yeah.
Goodness me.
Look, I reckon we've probably flogged this horse as hard as we can flog it.
Yeah, I reckon this has been kind of funny. We've kind of taken the piss out of just about everything tonight.
Well, it's just been a bit more relaxed. And
it's
always a bit of a letdown after a council meeting. I don't look forward to it. It's a bit of a chore. Oh,
Irv. Hey, Irv.
Yes, hey, what?
How do you tolerate Dean? Dean's a fucking delight. I'm a little ray of sunshine.
I tolerate Dean for 2 hours a week, and you're watching it. No, look, he's a positive guy. He's energetic, and
good-looking, charming, funny. Come on, I mean, let's be fair and humble.
Yeah.
Extremely oozing, dripping with humility.
Yeah, all of the above. But council, I don't look forward to a council meeting. I don't enjoy council meetings, but once you put yourself through that part of it, you come out the other end of it and you go, yeah, that was worthwhile. Even tonight, that was worthwhile. If I was in that room, that would have been a whole different meeting.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
And that's the key to it. And
that's a big part of all these little things that we're trying to do in these spaces.
And I had an interaction with a member of the community here this week, and this individual is closely connected to an ex-councillor of Temora, and they were griping about some issues with council. Now, I'm not going to go into it here and now because it'll flesh out in time. But I basically said to this individual, don't talk to me. Go and talk to your family member who was on council and allowed the situation to get as effed up as it is. You know, there's still that gang factor.
Oh, for sure there's a gang factor.
And until people actually realise that the gang are just that, they're a gang of muppets and they can't hurt you and they're full of shit.
Well, no, it's not that they can't hurt you. They can.
No, they can if you let them.
They can if you let them, and they can if you don't stand up for yourself.
Yes.
They can if you're lacking in resourcefulness in certain arenas.
If you've set yourself up in a situation where you're beholden to everyone else in the world to allow you to exist, then yes, the gang can affect you.
Yeah.
But if you've set yourself up so you've got a little bit of independence, a little bit of self direction, and a little bit of a few different options in front of you at any given time, then the gang can't touch it. So that's where it's at.
And it does help if you've got a few allies.
Yes, but there's periods where you haven't got any allies. There's periods when you've got to rely upon your own convictions as to what you're doing is right. And you've got to go into the wilderness on your own and live in the cold and do that. And then you come out the other side and you know and understand yourself and you know they can't hurt you. And you know, you can't be scared of the dark.
No.
One of the big tests I'll put myself to it a couple of different times is I'll go camping on my own. Out in the bush, on your own, spend the night.
Fucking bunyip will get you.
Oh, I know, but it's different. It's
bunyip
different.
A Sasquatch, a bunyip.
It's just different. And you just, there's not many people around.
You're only human.
There's not a lot of people around, I don't think, that just go camping on their own.
No, I didn't save anyone. That's look, and stuff like that it can be a bit dark and a bit lonely.
And you're out there on your own and you start thinking about the first part of the Wolf Creek movies. And
I don't know if I've seen them.
Oh, they're good. They're good. Good bedtime stories.
Yeah, look, I look at a lot of the stuff that we do. You do. A lot of people around the country do. There's some really good people and
no, there isn't. And I'll qualify. Don't think for a second that I'm doing this for high moral reasons. I'm doing this because they picked a fight and I fought back.
Yeah.
And that's it. And if I help someone along the way as an extra, that's a bonus.
Yeah.
But seriously, I'm only fighting for my own existence and my own space.
Yeah.
And that's where it's at. So don't put me in any sort of special category. I'm just selfish in that respect. That yes, but you're right.
Not about being in a special category, like
no, but
when you
there's
know
a certain amount
who
of people.
you are, what you stand for, you look in the mirror and you go, all right, I've taken a certain, you've taken a certain amount of risk with this. Your reputation at the start of all this was you were very popular amongst the gang. You were arguably well liked
until the gang decided that
until the gang decided that you're no longer. Yeah, that's right. But you had to sit there and weigh and measure. Were you going to take the lashings?
Oh yeah, was I just going to shut up and be a good dog?
Bend over and do as you're told, or were you going to
fight for me rights?
Fight for your not even just rights. It's for your pride and for your your value and your self-respect. And you've made that choice, but it comes at a cost. And there's a lot of people that you see who
won't pay the price.
Well, a lot of people won't pay the price. A lot of people aren't brave enough to pay the price.
But they pay another price. It's way more unbearable.
It's more costly for certainly. I couldn't live with myself that way. You know?
No.
We come out of that election, and I sat there, and I had a good mate, Peter Smythe, who rang me in the aftermath, going, oh, "Fuck!" You know. Now I don't take any government payment of any description. Nothing. Come tax time, I just say to my accountant, just do whatever you want. I don't want to know about it. Send me what I've got to pay. I don't want anything from these pricks. I just want them to leave me alone. It's bad enough they've stolen this shit. Just tell me what I've got to sign. I don't care. Right? And now that's cut your nose off to spite your face under the current climate. It's just how I just couldn't look myself in the face if I was sitting there. Oh, now how do I get this and how do I get that from them and how do I get this from them, and I don't want anything from them. I don't know that I can live with myself, but we're obviously joking about it. But now we need to go and just get as much out of this trough as we can get out of the bastard before there's nothing left. Because there will be nothing left in the trough in a couple of years' time. The trough will be dry.
There is absolutely no reason why any stand-up Australians should not get everything that they're entitled to, because I'm telling you, they'll take it in the other hand.
Well, they're going to take it anyway. I fully know that.
Yeah.
I just know that there's not one form they can present me with that's going to make me want to fill it out.
Oh,
there's not one box that they can present me with that I'm going to go, well, I really want to tick that box for that. You know, every now and then.
I'll give you an example. Tonight, this council are facing, Temora Shire Council are facing some very difficult financial times. Their costs are outstripping their income, right? And
along with every other government agency on fucking planet Earth.
It came up, the subject came up again in their other resolution as to what the council councillors' remuneration was up for discussion, and there was a recommendation that it increased by about 4%. I think it was 4%, 4 or 5%.
And how do you justify that when you're going backwards and you can't afford your bills?
Well, that was what I said. I said, look, I'm quite happy to vote for the pay rise. I said, but councillors really shouldn't be entitled to it until we can provide a surplus budget.
Yeah.
Now,
a consistent surplus budget.
A surplus budget. Now, if councillors were to leave their pay in and get it last, after they delivered a surplus budget, that would focus them on.
Yep.
At the moment, no, they're going to vote for a budget that's going to be in deficit and still cop a pay rise.
Yeah.
Now, if you run a business in Australia and you do that consistently, guess what happens?
Well,
you go broke.
No.
You do.
No, there'd be a fall.
No, you go broke. Well, there is a fall and you go insolvent, and then all the people you owe money don't get paid.
Ah, yes, right.
Yeah. So my comment is, I've been in business for 35 years for myself.
Yep.
You're in business for yourself. Who gets paid last?
I get paid last.
Absolutely. If you want to stay in business, if you want a good name in business, if you want to have people who Like I was talking to a guy today who sells a product, and he said there's only 4 people in your industry that I deal with, and you're one of them. He said because you pay.
Yep.
He said so I don't have a risk. So he said, but I know I've been burnt that many times with dealing with people in your industry.
Yep.
That I refuse to deal with them. But there's 4, only 4 that I deal with, and you're one of them. Well, that's because I pay him. I pay him before I get my pay.
Yes, of course.
Now, I pay my staff, I pay my utilities, I pay all my suppliers before I get paid.
Yeah, you get whatever's left on the table.
I get whatever's left. And that should be the case of the councillor. They put it across to us as...
That should be the case of every politician, every bureaucrat.
Well, it should be the case of Albo.
Absolutely.
Albo don't get paid until Albo's in the positive.
That's right. That's how it should be. And the only problem is that we'll just go, I'll just tax you all harder until I'm in the positive.
Well, that's wrong. But there'd be but if he did that, there would be a point where people say, no, you're out.
Yeah.
If it was that transparent, people would, no. But see, this is how people in Australia have gotten to the point where they want, give us more, give us more, but don't tax us more.
We are a welfare nation. We've gone from a nation of workers. We've gone from a nation of lucky.
And looking after yourself. We always used to be a nation of volunteers, a nation of get off your ass. If you want something, get off your ass and make it happen.
Yep.
To now we sit back and we say, no.
We want entitlement. We're a nation of a spoiled brats.
So anyway, that fell on deaf ears. They voted for the pay rise, and no, we're going to get it regardless of whether we deliver a surplus or not.
Oh, good. Fucking one more reason to try to work it out.
Now,
to have a pay rise.
One of the councillors made the argument that, business people who take time out for council deserve to be remunerated. What you get paid as a councillor is a token as to what it costs you.
Of course, but that's why it's called service, public service.
That's right.
It's not a public fucking job.
Yes,
you're serving. You have chosen to put your hands up, take time out of your day.
They're talking
out of your business to participate.
Regional rural councillors, they're trying to mount this argument now that regional rural councillors get remunerated at the rate that the metropolitan councillors get remunerated. Oh, good. Would you believe up in Queensland, the remuneration for local government councillors is $50,000 to $60,000 a year, ballpark. That's a guess, but it's approaching a good wage.
Yeah.
To be another tick on the...
To be a parasite.
Well, it's just something that someone has to pay for, and ratepayers, another cost for the ratepayers.
Of course it is.
So these people aren't doing it out of the goodness of their heart. They're actually... You don't even get the idea used to be that you'd get sensible people from the community to come in and make decisions on behalf of the community and be representative of the community. Now, it's most of the agenda is driven by the bureaucrats, and councillors' role is being diminished. And even the idea that they do it like they used to have some pull, they used to have some power, that's all been eroded. And I'm going to elaborate over the next couple of weeks about situations where lawful decisions of the council have been ignored, and the way that they keep secrets from the governing body. Seriously, we're treated as I'm asking questions on behalf of the community that are real questions that the community want answered.
Yep.
And I'm being threatened. I've had codes of conduct put on me. There's all sorts of different bullying by
tactics,
the Office of Local Government and other organisations to shut me down because I'm asking hard questions that they don't want to answer.
Yeah.
So that's a sad note to finish on, but it's just how it is.
That's how it is, and that's part of how the game's played, and it's a big war. And you got a big compliment here from Kristen. So glad you're on council. You are a councillor of. Can't imagine how hard it is. Thank you for that.
And that's the sort of thing. I'm getting that. My wife's come home at times and she's run into some random person who just pulls her up in the street and goes, "You tell your husband, you look after him. He's doing a great job." Oh, and she'll come home and she'll say something.
She'll come home and go, "Oh, some other deluded idiot's fucking telling me to be nice to you."
They obviously don't know.
Go and chop the wood, arsehole.
Yeah. No. But like I say, but again, Kristen, whatever I'm doing, I'm just getting some dirty water off my chest, and I'm just helping a few people along the way in the slipstream.
Well, but that's what a life is, mate. And I think you're doing a good job in council. I think it's important.
Well,
if there is a few little beacons of hope popping up, and other people feeling a bit better about it, and
I think
we're a bit more brave.
We're creating. There's certainly a hell of a lot more. There's been a shit ton more transparency since I've been there. There's a hell of a lot more hard questions being asked. There's some bravery, glimmers of it, little spots of it here and there.
That's what you can do. Feed the seed, water the seed.
That's all you can do.
That's all you can do.
No.
Water the seed. All right, big fella. I think we'll better wind it up for a Thursday night. Doing a nerve spin, doctors. The views last week were pretty good,
mate. They were solid. Look, Peter Marnie, if he was selling that many papers, he would be a happy.
Very, very happy man. If he could sell that many papers in tomorrow.
What were the?
I'm not sure the exact numbers. I think the book face had us at about 3,000 odd tune-ins.
Yeah, so the YouTube.
I didn't check the YouTube.
No,
YouTube's usually a bit lower.
It was really low.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. So I think most of the traffic's coming via the promotion you're doing on the Facebook feed.
But, I mean, we didn't advertise it. Although we don't advertise specifically or anything. We did the first few months, a couple of months. We sort of let people know we're doing it. Now it's almost a regular that people are just tuning in for. It's a bit of a regular Thursday night.
Well, it's a dose of reality they don't get on reality TV.
No.
And it's at a local level. And they get the other side of the local stuff at the Temora Independent and Pterodactyl FM refuse.
Is that still there?
Oh, I think so.
I don't know. Can somebody do a welfare check on the people down at Pterodactyl FM? So they're still kicking?
Yeah.
Thank you, Bruce. No, we appreciate it. It is nice to get a little bit of support we get doing this. You know?
Look, there's some positivity about it. And I think there's a lot of people out there who've been waiting a long time to actually get a little bit of just to hear it sort of put on the table pretty straight.
I had somebody mention the other day, I can't remember, we were talking about something completely random. And of course, you talk to people and they go, oh yeah, no, I was tuning in the other week. It's not like you're saying anything that we don't all sort of think.
Yeah.
And I went, well,
Yeah, well, how about you say it too?
I'm happy enough for you to say it, and I'm also happy enough to kind of, if you're looking for that, I don't want to say protection, because it's not quite the word I'm looking for, but
there is
the support.
If there's anybody out there who feels as though they've been shut down, bullied, or they had their voice quashed, talk to us, and we'll make sure that you are heard and you are protected and you are supported.
Okay, protected works. That's
protected and supported. That's what we'll do.
We'll fire back on your behalf if
you're
fair income and you've been doing straight shooting, you'll be we'll certainly have our
universe will protect you first and foremost. I've said
you don't have to call me universe.
But I've said this to people in the past. To have had one term of council, be elected to a second term of council, if there were skeletons in my closet, the powers to be have been searching hard.
They would have loved it. Yeah.
And they would have exposed it.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? So there is a certain the universe protects the honourable person who speaks the truth. That's the minute you stop being honourable, the minute you stop speaking the truth, the universe will chew you up and spit you out. Unless you've got the protection of a big machine, but even then.
Yeah, even those guys, I think a lot of them end up crying into their coffee more.
Well, but you can see parts of them being spun out and spat off. Like, the machine protects you as long as you're doing what the machine needs you to do. And the minute you want to do your own thing, the machine will absolutely axe you. And that
axes you hard.
Oh, I'm telling you, like at least a bloke who's been, or a person who's been honest to themselves, can sit back at the end of it and go, you know what, I got spat out in the back end.
And that's more to the point. You've got to be honest with yourself.
Yes. But you can still look yourself in the eye.
You don't necessarily owe anybody an explanation, but you've got to go, okay, this is who I am, this is what I stand for, this is what is important to me.
Yes.
And as long as you can look people in the eye, so, well, I've done A, B, or C, or whatever, you can live with it, you can move forward, and you can do whatever you want to do, and that's everybody.
Yes, 100%.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you like the program, we don't run ads.
No.
We don't. Which we could, I suppose, but we're not going to anytime soon. I don't think. I don't know. That's
we run anti-ads for the Timor Independent, but apart from that, we're probably responsible for selling more papers than.
Oh, fuck! For the last 2 years, if you and I weren't in this area, they would have sold no papers.
Yeah.
The circulation would be down
the front pages that we're filling for them.
about 400 a week.
Yeah.
Fuck. Anyway, it's funny because it's true.
Yes.
You know, do give these videos a like or a share.
Yeah, we need the algorithm.
Bump them around. All the algorithm shit matters.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell anybody what to do, but if you do like what we're doing and producing, please feel free to give it a little tickle either on Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube. Jump on Councillor Irvine's Stand Up for Tomorrow page. Give that a like.
There's not a lot there at the moment. There's about every week I post the upcoming episode. And about every second week I might find something that's pertinent. And,
look, the mayor does some bullshit, from the mayor's desk.
The mayor's full time.
Maybe we should do a from the bat cave or something, and you could each week put up a bit of a running room.
But the mayor's full time. The mayor's got a machine.
But he does this stuff every 30 seconds. You could just do it once a week.
Yeah.
You have nothing better to do with your time. Are you kidding?
Yeah, that's right.
You have a life.
I'm having a life and a business and and all these other things that the mayor doesn't have to worry about.
No, he doesn't. Ladies and gentlemen, everyone have a great night. Thank you for tuning in. We do appreciate you, and we'll see you again next Thursday night.